Hello and welcome to the Flock Podcast, which is a little bit of everything, and brought to you by the Flocking Network. Tonight we have Joe with Fed Up Gear, and we are going to have random, unplanned conversation. So if you like what you hear, you dig the vibe, and you want to support the flock, make sure you visit the Buy Me a Coffee page. From there, you can sign up for a membership, leave a donation, or grab some flocking merch. There's also a link because we do have an exclusive merch with Fed Up Gear, so there is a link for that as well. And if you would like to be on the Flock podcast, there is a clickable for that. All of those links can be found in the show notes. And so the title of this podcast is Fed the Flock Up, which is our newest merch. And I was gonna wear the hoodie, but it's entirely too warm out here to do that. So I just went with the regular. I just did the solid one. But I put in the description, I was like, we're just gonna have random unplanned conversation. I'm just going with honesty at this point.
I dig it.
How are you?
Good. Happy second Monday of the week.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, they're all Mondays for me until Friday.
Oh, they're all Mondays.
Yeah, this is my second Monday.
I hear you. Well, Tuesday is flock day here. That's how we roll.
Yeah, I'm glad we just did it like this. I don't want to be tied down to a topic. I think it's better to just have a vibe.
Hey, everyone showing up in the chat. How are we? How are we doing? I see everyone coming in. Yeah, I know, because I texted you and I was like, what do you want to talk about? And you were like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll just wing it then. We got a lot going on though. So we got Flockfest coming up. You're trying to put together a Flat Earth festival. We got a bunch of shit happening. So talk to me about this Flat Earth Festival. Where is it?
It's going to be in upstate New York. I don't exactly have the specific weekend, but it's going to be towards the end of July. I know that. I'm down to 2 weekends. I can't really talk about the presenters yet because that's not all exactly locked down either, but I do have some stuff in the works and some really awesome names on the topic. And, no matter how much I try to steer away from my flat earth content, somehow it's like got its reins into me. And I don't know if it's the people opposing it or the people that like it, but they keep drawing me back. And it's like, you can't escape that. I go into my holistic videos. I'm like, I'm just going to do these, leave that stuff alone. And for whatever it is, I've somehow had become a voice in that movement, and I can't seem to escape that.
Well, I feel like it's all connected, right? Everything's connected. And I feel like we get kind of like there's certain topics that we'll always kind of come back to. And I feel like Flat Earth is one of those topics where that's the start of a lot of this stuff. Like once you start researching Flat Earth and actually looking into it and taking a step back and having that unbiased opinion, listen, we were all where you were. We were all there. We were all like, oh my God, these Flat Earth people are fucking crazy. There's no fucking way. We were super programmed with school and the globe and all this stuff. And we were there, and we all went researching to try and prove that you were really crazy talking about Flat Earth. And then we were like, well, shit, this is kind of starting to make sense. This is kind of starting to make sense. So so can we sidetrack for a second?
165 days.
Okay, that's where I was gonna go. I was like, can we sidetrack? So you have this lovely habit of popping in my live every morning and piquing my anxiety, because you come in and you're like, how many days did you say?
165.
165 days until Flockfest. And in my head, I just immediately, it's like a Rolodex, and I just run through all of the shit that I have to do in order to pull this off in 165 days. So I have this little mini panic attack. I'm like, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it.
All right. So if it makes you feel any better, it's probably somewhere around 125 days to what I'm planning. So
True.
So the vision I had for this thing is, the trolls ruin everything, man. When I went to the Flattoberfest in South Carolina, and just the people within the flat Earth community they're awesome, because you just kind of touched on the journey it takes to go through that. Like, you have to think that it's nuts to begin with. You go in there to try to debunk it. Then there's some stuff that doesn't make sense. And eventually, like, you can't go back. Not everything makes 100% sense on either side of this, but it makes a hell of a lot more sense that all of this space crap is just a bunch of nonsense. And you go with what you can observe. You cannot prove motion or curvature of this planet without using outer space. So anyways, the people, I'm not really a people person, right? I'm kind of an introvert, but you can walk up to anybody at an event like that and just start having a conversation. And it's because they're all living in their truth, and you're all on a like-minded journey. And it's just nice to have that vibe around you and not have these comments and these trolls and these censors and the bans and all the stuff that comes with the virtual aspect of this journey. And as I tried to like get away from doing flat Earth stuff, I keep getting pulled in. I get messages from people that say, "Where's your flat Earth content? I love hearing your stuff. You changed my mind." Out of all the, like, I get thousands of hate messages, right? Every once in a while, somebody comes in and says, "I appreciate what you're doing. You've helped me on my journey." And it's like, damn, that kind of stuff makes it worthwhile. So I want this to be something in person. Like, these people are awesome on these screens that are bringing you these messages, and all the people in the comment sections that you end up connecting with. And I mean, we got friends all over the world we never met.
Yeah.
So why not go somewhere? And the other part of this is, in the flat Earth community, there are meetups and events. I use the FE Clock app, and this stuff's always down south. There's always meetups in Florida. There's stuff in the Carolinas. There's stuff out in California. No one has done this on the East Coast yet. So I feel like I'm going to take the torch on, and I want this to be the biggest freaking flat Earth event that's happened. So I'm going to work my ass off and make it happen.
And you're thinking about like renting a whole like campground.
Oh, it's a whole campground. There's stages, electrical hookups, showers.
Like a whole thing.
This can handle 3,500 people. They do like huge motorcycle events and stuff at this campground. It's going to be pretty far out.
I'm here for it. I don't know how I'm gonna. I mean, we'll talk about the presentation aspect, but I mean, we'll talk about it. But I'm here. I'm so here for the event. You stressed me out with that, Joe.
You know what else is awesome? Like, it's also a chance for people that have this horrible vision of New York City, right? To come to upstate New York and go to a campground in the upstate mountains and just have a different picture in your mind, because a lot of people don't know there is some beautiful.
So it's in Albany, which is upstate New York. Now, I'm from Rochester, and it's kind of like Rochester and Albany are kind of like parallel to each other, right? And they like run along the top border, like Canada's like right there. And I could not tell you how many times people are like, "Oh my God, where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from upstate New York," because you specify that shit. Like, we are not associated. We do not claim New York City at all, ever. And they're like, "Oh, New York City." And in my mind, I'm like, I've never been to New York City in my fucking life. Like, Rochester, New York is like a 7-hour fucking drive to New York City. Like, that's a whole nother state in my mind. Like, that's a trip. And I've never been there, and I have no desire to go there. There's way too much. And
you don't want to go there.
but people are like, "Oh, New York City." And all I have to, the sarcasm just takes over. And I'm like, yes, you're exactly right. There's no other there's no other part of New York besides New York City. That's it. Yep, you're right. I just go into straight fucking sarcasm bullshit mode. So the Flat Earth event is in Albany. Flockfest is in Kentucky. We got events happening all over the place.
We're gonna be all over the place.
So I wrote a note, and I wrote down people person, and you said that you're not a people person, and I used to also say that I wasn't a people person, and I kind of want to talk about that for a second. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
So I kind of more think of it as like, I'm not a muggle person. Like, I'm here for people that I vibe with. I'm here for people that like, let's have a conversation about the universe. Like, tell me your theories, I'll tell you my theories. I want to have a conversation about your spiritual practice and what you're doing for the full moon ritual. I want to know the last time that you did yoga naked in the front yard. Like, those are the conversations that I want to have with people. I don't want to, as far as like this, and I am going to kind of categorize for a second here, but like this, like these, the NCPs or like the muggles and just these people that are just so fucking programmed and so unaware and just like stuck, and it's like, damn, I just can't. Like, I reach my people-o-meter real quick with that shit, but I stopped saying that I'm not a people person, because I very much am a people person. It just needs to be the right people.
Those people don't even know what muggle means, so you can't even say that much.
Fair enough. Touche, sir. Touche.
Exactly what you're saying, though. I think the last time I turned my phone on, the last notification I seen is somebody was commenting on my video and said, the fact that you think that the plane is flying upside down on the globe says all I need to know about you. And that says all that I need to know about you, because your mind, you believe in this spinning ball in outer space, right? So let's go with that. Take your camera and back the fuck up into outer space. There is a top and a bottom to your globe, right? And there are planes flying everywhere, and down is always the ground to you guys. That means whichever way you spin this ball around, somewhere a plane has to be physically upside down, right?
If it's within the atmosphere, right? Yeah.
If you're viewing this from space and there's a plane in the northern hemisphere and a plane in
there's got to be just
hemisphere.
Planes like flying upside down from your perspective is what you're saying.
Right. If you were to back up into space and look at this globe, there has to be a plane upside down.
All sorts of directions around it.
Yeah. And if that's what makes sense to you, you and me are not on the same kind of vibe. You can call me an idiot. You can call me a flirt. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. I don't believe that we're a spinning ball in space and that plane is upside down. That's where it's at the end of the day.
Let's take this one step further, because like, even if you want to believe in the globe and you're 100% and you got all the science and the facts to back it up, and you know, and you're here for it, but you're still willing to have a conversation, and you're still willing to like have that open-mindedness and be like, you know what, tell me why you believe in this, and I'll tell you why I believe in this. Or like, hey, well, I heard this thing, but this is what, like, I'm here for that debate. I'm here for that open conversation. But if you're going to come in with hate and insults and start like picking apart my appearance and like the way that I live, like, you got nothing, and you're just weak and you're scared, and it's showing.
So unfortunately, there is a tremendous amount of hatred involved in this debate. And to be honest with you, like, chances are some of us are watching now.
Would be upside down now.
So I'm not even here for the debate. I do like the topic. I do like the chat. I do like hearing your ideas. I don't care if you oppose my ideas, but the hatred, or I gotta like break down the flirfs and you gotta lie to be a flat earther and all that stuff. Like, I don't dig that, you know. The other day, what I was thinking of is like, there's no gain to this, right? Think about taxes. We got all these taxes, right? You got property tax, sales tax, income tax, road tax, fuel tax, whatever. You get the point, right?
Yeah.
So you're paying this road tax and you're driving along pothole after pothole after pothole rattling down the road, and you fucking know that your road tax is not taking care of these roads, right? You're not benefiting from this.
Nope.
So in my mind, like this whole globe and space and NASA, like all these people that are defenders of the globe, I don't understand it. This would be like creating a TikTok account, a grown man creating a TikTok account called the Taxinator and going on and defending the IRS. The IRS is fucking you and they're fucking me. So why are you creating an account to no benefit of yourself to go on and defend them screwing you over? I don't understand this. That's the same thing with the globe thing for me. Like, why are you on here defending NASA? Are they paying you? Like, they're getting $9 million a day. So I understand why they're doing it. They're controlling humanity. They're hiding technology. They're screwing over the people. I get why they're doing it, but why does a grown man make an account called the Ultimate Globe Guy and come on my account to attack me? I don't understand that.
Can I give you a couple answers that could be possibilities?
Please.
Okay, so there's one. So there's one, and then we'll get to Cindy. We'll get to your question in a second here. So I have a couple theories on why people do this. All right. So one, they're going after clout. They're going to do the same shit that Bob used to do me my entire childhood. Whether he agrees with me or not, he is going to go so far the opposite direction of whatever the fuck I'm trying to like have a point on. He's going to take the opposite side just for the sake of the argument. So, and I feel like that happens on TikTok is these people go to the extreme of whatever the opposite thing is, right? Like, so flat earth would be the globe theory. And they run with it because they get clout, they get attention, they get, look at, you're talking about them now on my podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like they're getting what they want from it. Just like the people that show up in the comments and they start being assholes and shit. They want attention. It's like, it's no different than a little kid acting out to get attention from the parents, right? Like any attention is good attention. The other reason that I think that they do it is because you get to this point and with some things I feel like I used to be there, and I think that that's important to admit, especially in this journey, is there were some things that were so programmed and so solidified in your brain that you hadn't really thought outside the box on yet, right? And it challenges this inner model that you have in your head, because if that one thing isn't true, then fuck everything else is a lie. And that's a real heavy journey. And I don't think that everybody is prepared for it. And I think that people go about it in a different way. And it's almost like a grieving process, because you do have to set death to that part of your life. Like that no longer exists. That way of thinking, that mentality, the way of living, like you put different intention into things. You put different thought into things. You do different research. Like it kind of snowballs into this whole thing. And I think people are afraid of it. So if they cling on so hard to that one thing that they know as absolute in their brain, right, with all of this data to back it up, then they're good because they got things on their side. And now they're going after you for attention. And if they make you feel stupid, then they're going to feel better about themselves, because that's just the level that they're at.
It's that hurt ego.
Yeah. That part. Okay, Cindy's question. Cindy has questions. She says, I have questions. I'm with you. Just the firmament. Is it over us? And are we just like a floating dome, like pop dice? Go ahead, because I have a theory on this. So I want to hear yours, though.
All right. So first of all, I think that I also get a little bit of animosity from the flat earth world, because I don't exactly rule out the spherical shape, right? And me and you kind of got into this because I feel like we are a topographical plane. I do believe in like the hollow earth theory with that whole part of it. And I believe that what we are on is basically suspended between two energy fields. So I think like if you were to able to actually go to space, which I don't believe in, what you would see would be in the shape of a sphere. I also don't think that, like the dome part, I don't know. I don't know if there is a separate dome, a great dome, but I think that there is way more land and way more seas and other land. Like, I think that they believe that space is infinite, right? But everybody comes in and says, where's the edge of the earth if the earth is flat? Why can you believe in an infinite space, but not the concept of infinite land and seas?
And
I
think
don't,
that
to be honest with you, I don't know where the dome comes down or how that all works, but
so I think I agree with you. I agree with you, and that's a really interesting perspective to look at it as, and a good question to pose to people is, how can you believe in an infinite galaxy and endless space, but you couldn't believe in this endless, like a ripple in water? Like, that's what it looks like. It looks like the eye of Africa. It looks like Atlantis. It looks like a bullseye. And it's endless, because you even see these maps, like some of them only have 3 rings, some of them have 7 rings, like,
Mhm.
and then there's other rings that, like, the flat earth map, right? It has all these connecting ones. So yeah, and it's a plane, because that ties into the whole T minus thing, because it's not a planet. And I don't believe that the planets are planets. I believe that they're portals. And as far as the firmament question goes, I don't think that it's like a glass dome. I don't think that we're in like a snow globe. I don't think it's the Truman Show where you can like go up and like puncture a hole in the wall. I feel like it's a Taurus energy field. It's an outer energetic barrier. And I always associate it, like, the best analogy that I can come up with is, did you watch Lost?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, well, in Lost, okay, now I gotta, all right, I have to explain it. It's not funny, but
I did see
there's
Truman
this,
Show.
so there's these pillars around their island where the others live. Okay. So there's these pillars, and they have these like big, they look like speakers on the side. And what it does when they turn the pillars on is it creates this like energy field. And if you try and walk through it, like, you don't know, you can't tell that it's on. But if you try and walk through it, your brain explodes and you start bleeding out your ears. So the only way that you can walk through it is if you have these special earplugs in, so that you don't hear the frequency, because it's like a sound barrier of all these pillars connecting. So I think that the firmament, the outer energetic barrier, the dome, the Taurus energy field, like, I feel like it's all the same thing, and we're arguing over titles at this point.
Right.
But I feel like it's an energy, and I don't think that we have the technology, or we have been able to tap into the right frequency and vibration to be able to pass through it, so it becomes a solid, kind of like, when you mix cornstarch and water, and depending on the speed in which you interact with it makes it either a liquid or a solid. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what I think. I think that the firmament is an energy.
And they call it the Van Allen belts. They basically acknowledge that this is an energy field that has them contained. And the whole thing with the planets, I don't believe those are planets. And
I think they're portals.
another problem with this, though, is my personal take on this is, I'm okay if I don't have an answer with something. And the people that support this globe model are so entitled to have an answer for everything. Science proves everything. Science says this. We've calculated this. We have the dimensions. And it's like, it's okay to say we don't have an answer for something. Like,
It's okay not to know. It's okay to be like,
right.
I haven't thought about that. Like, there's some things that I got a couple theories on some things, because if you start traveling down this path and you're like, okay, well, this fits and then this fits, but that debunks this then. So now this piece doesn't fit. So then you're like, okay, well, where does this piece fit? And you start trying to fit that in. You're like, well, that doesn't fit if this piece is true. So is this really true? And you just start breaking it down. And there's some things that you don't have the answer to. Can I pull the maps? Yeah, let me see if I have them saved on here. I should. Go ahead and talk about.
You'll hear stuff like math proves the globe, the flat earth is bullshit. Well, the math doesn't lie, but they can use the math to lie, if that makes any sense. Like
Oh, 100%.
I could give you a formula to tell you how fast Superman's flying, but that doesn't make it real. You know what I mean? I can go over to the whiteboard and give you this equation that works mathematically, but it still doesn't make it real. So I don't know.
Well, the math can be manipulated to work in your favor. Just like how they speak too. They speak in such a way where they're telling you the truth, but only if you read between the lines and are aware of what they're saying. Are you still there? Can you still see me? Are we still here?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to minimize my screen. I can't see you because I can't seem to find. So Tony's been in my computer again.
I think I'm here.
Yeah, I see you on the other screen, but Tony's been in my computer again and rearranged all my folders on me. I thought I had, I'll just pull it up on the internet. I thought I had a picture of it saved, but that's all right.
What is the Nos Confunded?
No, the flat Earth map with the things. Where is it? You know what I'm talking about.
The Gleason map?
I don't know the name of it. I just know what I'm talking about. I just know what I'm looking for, Joe. I know what I found it. I found it.
The blue one with 178 lands? That's the Nos Confunded.
The what? The Nos Confunded?
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Nos Confunded.
Spell it.
NOSCUNFUNDON, I think. Nos Confunded.
What does that stand for?
Somebody Brazilian can tell you, but it has something to do with something about trickery or lying or something.
Okay. So this is the one that we're talking about. Oh, geez. I clicked on something.
Look, now you see that picture? Scroll back up a little bit. You see the guy holding his face?
Yeah.
With the pancake and the ice.
I don't believe in that.
No, but when people get on in the first stages of their journey of searching the flat Earth, that's what comes up. Because they have gatekeepers in the Flat Earth Society are the first people that come to you to make everything look stupid. Have you seen the guy who has taken the moon and shown the dark spots of the moon actually reflect the land below, and the moon will show you that there is more land of the Earth?
No.
All right, so there's a guy that took that map and he took all of the proportions of the land masses and matched them like on his screen into the dark spots of the moon, and you can see land outside the ring of what is supposedly shown on that map.
So like the shapes on the moon line up to like where the continents would be and the land masses is what you're saying.
Yeah. The moon is a reflection of the Earth. It
mirrors. Yeah. So maybe the moon is just a giant snort bubble stuck in the firmament. That's what I'm going with.
You don't think it's a dusty rock you can land on?
I don't believe we're chasing the sun through Earth. That doesn't make through space. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. And I've been to Australia. I've been to New Zealand. I didn't feel upside down. I didn't feel like, I mean, and gravity's a theory, but like it didn't feel different. I would have expected it to feel different, and it didn't. And I didn't feel like I was upside down, if that makes sense.
It does make sense because you weren't.
Thanks, Joe. I struggle with that. I struggle with the being upside down thing. And then north is always in. And if it wasn't flat, then how do the stars not move and the North Star is always there? Because it's just like if we were just fucking rocket launching through space, chasing the sun. How are the stars the same every single fucking night?
Mm-hmm. So one of the things I just got into, like a lot of them are, I keep getting this Coriolis thing, right? And like that one's very easy to debunk because it's a bunch of bullshit. The spinning of the earth does not cause the way that your sink drains or your toilet drains or affect a bullet. That's all a bunch of crap. So one of the things they try to do to you is tell you that in one of my videos, I was talking about the flight from Australia to South America, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this flight's traveling 500 to 550 miles an hour. It's at the Tropic of Capricorn. So the Earth approximately is spinning 700 miles an hour in the same direction. So if you believe that, when this plane takes off, you're already losing ground on the spin of the Earth, right? And then they'll tell you, no, the entire atmosphere and the air and everything moves along with the globe at the same time. But then they'll tell you that you have to adjust for the spin of the Earth when you're firing from a sniper rifle because the bullet isn't moving with the atmosphere of the Earth. So it's like you're contradicting yourself within the same argument, right? With that mentality, if a helicopter comes up and hovers for 12 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
It technically should be halfway around the world by hovering in the same spot with the globe spinning underneath it. Why doesn't that happen? Hot air balloons. How can a hot air balloon go up and stay right above the spot where it can, like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. And is that because so this taps back into like the mud floods and everything like that too, like those pictures from back then and the technology that they had, like even some of that stuff, like the blimps and like the flying machines that they were using, they wouldn't have worked either.
The reason I brought this up was because one of the things this guy was trying to say to me today is if like if you throw a tennis ball up in the air when you're inside a train or an airplane or something, it doesn't go flying backwards because everything is all moving together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're in an enclosure. You've removed all of the elements. Sit on top of that train and throw the tennis ball up and tell me if the same thing happens.
Right, like they do it on the Polar Express when he's jumping the trains and he's moving he just jumps and the train keeps going and he lands on a different car.
Yep. So they're using like mental tricks almost on you to try to prove something that doesn't really happen.
The wind.
You've been trained to forget your senses. Use your damn senses. Go outside. Like there's nothing spinning except for the sky.
So if we were spinning, there would be wind constantly, and like you wouldn't be able to go outside because you would have to like hang out. You'd have to be strapped in. The queen would blow away. Like you wouldn't be able to. So if we were just like through space, right? wouldn't that make like the wind super intense? Essentially,
I think that is
like, wouldn't the clouds not be in existence? Because like I just don't understand, like with the globe theory, the atmosphere, how that works. So you're telling me that there's enough gravity that the water isn't gonna leave the ground, but it's not gonna just yank shit out of the sky and suck it down?
Well, I'm not telling you that, but
no, right. I understand that. I'm just speaking figuratively.
Same thing, like clouds. They're suspended up in the sky for weeks before it rains, right? That's all water. The gravity doesn't affect that water until the day that it rains. How does that work?
Right, because it gets too heavy. It wasn't heavy before.
Why didn't the gravity bring that moisture down before?
Right.
Like, how are all those clouds sitting there? You look at the live images of the Earth spinning from the NASA footage. The clouds don't move. How is that possible that the Earth is spinning and the clouds have the same formation?
That kind of debunks the planes then.
What do you mean?
If you're flying through, okay, so if the clouds aren't moving and the Earth is spinning and the clouds are just, so this is spinning inside of this, right? And these are the clouds, right? This is spinning. So the planes fly through clouds, but that what they're saying though is that because the plane is in the atmosphere, it's all spinning together. Then the clouds debunk the plane theory.
None of it really makes sense when you try to make sense out of
I
it.
still want to know where the wind comes from, even if whether we're on a spinning globe or we're not. I want to know where the wind comes from because shit must fucked me up with some shit one day, and she was like, "What if it's just the trees breathing?" And I haven't been able to think about it different since.
So I think in order for everything to exist, we obviously need to have some form of a container, right? And therefore there are high and low pressures, and that's basically what the wind is these pressures trying to equalize themselves, because it doesn't go on forever. If we were spinning, obviously it would never stop, right? There's a video of a giant vacuum chamber where they dropped feathers next to a bowling ball. When they removed the air and dropped them, they hit the ground at the same time.
I had to read that one twice too. So there's a video of a giant vacuum chamber where they drop a feather next to a bowling ball. When they removed the air pressure and dropped them, they hit the ground at the same time.
That's pretty wild.
I completely agree. Like there's some things that I've always questioned. Like that's not, I don't know. I know that trees breathe. I know that they breathe, but like they be huffing and puffing some days and throwing a full on tree temper tantrum.
Yeah, have you ever seen the videos of a tree move, like walking?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Is it though?
I'm not going there. I'm just saying those are some crazy videos.
Where they just like sprout out of the ground and start walking like out of a cartoon?
No, but like you can just kind of tell in the lapse of the video that the fucking tree moved.
Oh,
somehow.
like a real tree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do. 100% they shift. There's also the tree root system is fucking phenomenal. And like they will send messages to other trees and like be able to send nutrients to different roots, and like underneath, like everything is interconnected, and that's how they communicate with each other. Same way as there's some sort of, is it a tree or is it a plant that I'm thinking of? I know what I'm talking about. I just don't know the logistics of it. But it will send out like a certain scent that gets carried, or like a vibration or something. I might be fuzzy on this. And it like notifies all of the surrounding plants because there's a predator coming to feed on it. And then it like emits this like scent or something to deter. Somebody tell me what I'm talking about. Because I know what I'm talking about. I just can't think of what it is.
I thought you were gonna say, but okay. Like the.
So can we talk about this story for a second? Jonah, the tree at Flockfest, the meditation tree, Jonah on the property. When Mike was here and he was helping me clean out because it was all overgrown. So he was out there buzzing it down, and I came out there to check because I'm allergic to every fucking bit of that. No, it's a no for me. And so I went back out there when he was done, and we were just kind of standing there, and this tree, like they were, like it literally, like the branch came down. I don't know where Mike is. He can attest to this. I have a witness. The tree came down. I had my hair up, and like the branches like got stuck in my hair. He had to like untangle Jonah from my dreads. Like the tree was just so thankful that it got cleaned up and got attention. So yeah, 100%. The trees talk and they breathe.
I have seen some videos. 3 trees. I need to walk a different direction. I don't want to cut them down, but they're dangerous. She's talking to him.
Go back to our roots.
Tell him to move. I was I don't know if any of you guys went and did this, but I was on the virtual summit this past weekend. There was a Flat Earth Summit put on by Jeranism and Witsit. And man, they had some amazing people in there. And Dave Murphy did this thing on fractals. Do you know what that is?
Jog my memory.
I really don't either, but it's like the shape or the form of something. And it's I don't know if I want to say a plant or just say like a plant cell or something. And as you keep zooming in and this pattern just keeps on repeating itself like into infinity as you zoom into this thing. So there'll be like a swirl, and at the end of that swirl is the same exact swirl, and you zoom in closer on that swirl, and it just keeps going and going and going. There is so much evidence of intelligent design that we have a creator, and that all of this science stuff is really just a bunch of bullshit to steer you wrong, right? When you look at that stuff like that, and then they tell you, oh, we came from a big bang. There was an explosion of nothing, and everything formed into this perfect sphere, and then the humans came from amoebas or monkeys or whatever the hell they want to believe, right? So out of those 4 elements of the earth, where is that in gravity, and where is it in human beings? Like, where is the evidence of the 4 elements of the earth? Like, that should be, if everything on earth came from this explosion and was broke down into 4 elements, then gravity should be broke down into 4 elements. Humans should be broke down into 4 elements. Like, everything should be the same, and it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. You don't have to like write big long equations and all this crazy science stuff to understand that this stuff doesn't work. And ultimately, I feel like there's also a lot of people who hate just hearing this discussion, right? They're like, our world's a fucking mess. The politics are insane. Our election was stolen. We got to fight. We got to stand. And like, the flat earth is dumb. Why are you people wasting time on this? And ultimately, I think that this is the domino that breaks the matrix, because all the people that are behind this are the roots of all this corruption. If you thought that there was a fence, you would go look over that fence to see if it was better on the other side. You might go over that fence and never fucking come back. If they can trap your mind in a ball and tell you that everything's been explored and there is nowhere to go. Oh, is this the fractals?
This is the golden ratio, where everything just and then there's also the sacred geometry. I was trying to find, I had one picture. I think it's on my iPad.
Look up the term fractal. Yeah.
Oh, this one.
The one up on the top left.
This?
That top left. Yeah. Is that a video?
No.
Okay, but you can. So if you
this is what you're talking about, right? Like, it's like each one spins. Yeah.
As you keep zooming in on that picture, it's the same pattern over and over and over, and it's like infinite.
So this is the golden ratio, though. That's why I pulled this one up.
Okay.
And the golden ratio is cool because everything falls in line with the golden ratio. Like, when they talk about, like, this is in nature. If you look at a dog curl up, golden ratio, there's like a particular picture that I'm looking for that I wanted to see, like here. It's literally in everything. And it goes into the as above, so below, which taps into the golden ratio and taps into like the structure of everything. Like, it's literally in all of it. And the pyramids are also set up within the golden ratio, and it lines up with so many things. It's literally like the foundation of math and science and nature and creation is the golden ratio.
Somebody who's really awesome on this is Marty Leeds, and I've been I've been listening to him Sunday after you guys get done. He's got a Gnostic podcast, but he's really good with the math, the gematria, and then like the spiritual thing. And the first time I heard him was at the Flattoberfest, and he explained that squaring the circle. And like the first time you hear that, it's pretty amazing, like how they explain everything that's happening in your world right now, everything that's happened in history, like biblical and religious stuff. And when somebody can tie all of these things that have happened forever, are always going to happen, and are happening to you right now, and just draw all of that information into this one topic, and it fucking nails you. It's like, those are the kind of people that I love and I want to listen to and I want to be around. I don't want to sit somewhere and watch somebody do some stupid fucking equation on the board and tell me how I can't see it, I can't feel it, but the ball is curving like this because this math number says so, and you got to divide by purple to figure it out, and you're just stupid if you don't know that. I'm like, that's not where I'm at, man.
I'm here for people that can like tie all that in and like be able to connect the dots and just kind of give that whole new perspective to everything. Like, I completely agree with you 110%.
I don't know if I could show you this, but the only other person so far that I don't have this on my computer. I'm going to try to show you a picture on my phone. Austin Whitsitt talks a lot about the Earth, basically like we described it, a suspended plane in between toroidal fields, right? And I do have a picture. Do I got to kill my background to show this?
Just send it to me in Telegram.
Okay.
Real quick. Yeah, Sarah, if you want to send that to me in Telegram. Thank you, Shitmess. If you want to send that to me in Telegram. So while you're looking for that, while we're talking about TikToks, and you're sending that to me, because I wrote this down when we were talking about the trolls, and I saw this TikToker, and I'll have to see if I can find the video. And yeah, this is the Taurus energy field. Save image as desktop. Boom, saved. And she was doing this thing. She was like, I'm going, every time I see a video and I go to the comment section and I see somebody that leaves a nasty comment, she goes, I'm going to take that comment and I'm going to copy it directly into their latest video. And she was like, the people that are coming back to me with hate, oh my God, how can you say that to a complete stranger on the internet? She's like, it's your comment. Like, you left it to a complete stranger on the internet. And I'm so here for
That's
the
awesome.
TikTok comment vigilante. Like, I'm here for that shit.
So I'm
going to start doing that because that sounds like a fucking grand old time.
All right. I don't know. Do you follow his work at all?
I know who he is. I know who you're talking about. Yes, go on.
This guy's like, he's the guy you want to listen. Like, he's the one who takes on all the science aspect of the globe people, right? He's wicked smart. He's like, there's stuff I'm just going to stay away from because it's not a battle I can get into, right? You're talking about things I don't understand. But anyways, this is his vision of what the Earth is, right? But he used this model and he shows you a picture of an atom. And he's saying that an atom doesn't really exist. And what it is a representation of the Earth, humans, all that, like tying all this stuff in together. And of course, they're going to call him a nut job because he's going against science, saying that the atom doesn't really exist. And what it is a model of, I don't want to misquote what he's saying, but it was another, like, you just kind of sit there and listen to people that talk about stuff like this. And it's like, man, damn, that's amazing.
Well, I know there's the one with you're talking about the atoms with it's carbon, right? 666. When you break down carbon, it's got the 3 and then the 666 and then, which is 9. and then taps into Nikola Tesla and 369 and all that, which is what we're made of. And like it just goes into the whole thing. So yeah, yes, go on.
All of the numbers, Marty Leeds does a lot of stuff on that too. All of the numbers people get too hung up on that. Like, oh, that says 33. That's the Freemason stuff, or that says 666. That's the devil. He shows you these numbers. Like if you do the gematria, there's 666 in the name Jesus Christ. So,
well, there's duality in all of it. And that's what I was talking about earlier when they're clever with their language, right? Because they're only going to tell you the one side. Just like the swastika was everybody, you say the swastika and everybody immediately thinks Nazi Germany. The swastika, first of all, is Sanskrit. Okay. And second of all, they flipped it. They literally flipped the image of the swastika and it meant peace and unity and was for the compass, north, south, east, and west, and as a guide and as truth, and they flipped it and made it evil. So now you can't even say swastika without immediately being associated with that. As same with the peace sign, the emblem that you wear, right? It's an upside down protection rune.
So as above, as below. And
as above, so below.
If you mirror the swastika, you have a positive and a negative field, right? I've actually seen somebody do almost like a time-lapse thing that where the swastika came from was the position of the Big Dipper.
From the stars, and then they use it from the Mayans. One of my books has a breakdown about there's so many different variations of that symbol, so many throughout multiple different cultures, which then taps into the monomyth and the hero's journey with Joseph Campbell. I mean, the whole thing, it's literally, it's all connected when you really start looking at it, and it just is.
What I gain out of all of that is, even if you don't understand it, this is another one of those things where you don't have to have the answer. When you look at the globe, we're at a 6.6 degree tilt on the axis. We're traveling 666,000 miles an hour. Like NASA's got 666 spewed all over their everything, right? It doesn't necessarily mean evil. What it means is the people that are using it are evil because they know that they can mess with you by playing with these numbers and portraying this stuff in your face. This is just a play on humanity. So I think it's important just not to get caught up with all of this stuff because some people are like, I saw 33, that's the Masons, 33 degree Masons. Well, you have 33 vertebrae in your spine. Jesus was 33. Like, how do you want to play this number and stop letting it play you?
Well, that's another example of like making the math and the numbers work for you, right? If you're only going to tell one definition of it, if you're only going to tell one side of it, then yeah, of course, that's all they're going to believe. And that's what they're going to be programmed to think. And that's what that's like word association. That's why the whole UFO and UAP thing are coming around now, because they had to change the word association. They had to change the programming and set a new one. So if you're constantly always told that 666 is the number of the devil, then yeah, of course it is. That's what you've been told to believe. It's when you're able to set down that internal model and kind of step away from the ego and the programming and what you've learned and actually look at both sides and go, oh, this does have a whole nother meaning, because you can't have a one-sided coin. That's silly.
I'm not going to get the chapters or whatever right, but so the whole idea of the 666 thing comes from the Bible. It says something about the sixth scorn is the mark of the beast in the Bible, right? That was where the association of Satan with the 666 comes from. If you were to go like 2 more chapters in the Bible, it talks about slaying the beast and removing his number. So within 2 chapters of the Bible, they portray 666 as the mark of the beast, and 2 chapters later, removing the number of the beast. So in all actuality, if you're looking at this from a biblical standpoint, the number associated with the mark of the beast was removed in the Bible. So the 666 is no longer evil according to biblical literature. But it's really what, like we were saying, this is a play on you. They're triggering you. They're matching this stuff up on purpose. It doesn't necessarily mean it's evil. It means they know that you think it's evil, and they're going to put it in your face. Mm-hmm. That's why we're traveling. They don't have. How the hell would you measure how fast the Earth is traveling around the sun? What did they measure that with? Right?
You know what's funny? I was driving all over East Bejesus, Kentucky today, and I had to drive 30 minutes to try and find coffee. I could have bought a cow. I could have bought some eggs. I could have bought a whole bale of hay. I could have bought a truck, but I could not find fucking coffee. And I didn't have enough service to fucking look nothing up. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, how in the fuck can they get pictures into the depth of the goddamn universe and apparently send a rover to Mars and stream the goddamn moon landing in 19 whatever, but I can't get fucking service in the middle of Kentucky? Come on.
What about them satellites, huh?
There's no such thing. I don't believe that satellites exist. I believe all of the wires are underground, just like all of the old cities from the mud floods. All that shit's underground. I don't think satellites exist. I really don't believe that they do.
I'm half and half. I don't believe that they're in outer space, and I don't believe they're what they tell you they are. I do believe they do send some up there with balloons, and I think the way that they travel is because they're somehow harnessing the magnetic fields.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something floating around. Like when you say satellite to me, I think of this thing being launched into fucking space and like orbiting the Earth and like tracking everything and sending out fucking internet signals. Like that shit I can't get behind. Is there something maybe up in our atmosphere at the border of the firmament, the energy barrier? Sure. Probably, right?
I don't know if you actually can see something that perhaps resembles the ISS going past the moon in a telescope, right? There is something there.
Right.
I don't know if that thing they got built in the pool that they send you videos from was just made to match that image. But there's definitely something up there. And Neil deGrasse Tyson says that thing is it's not above Earth's lower Earth, because he says that we've never been above lower Earth. So basically he's saying that the distance to that International Space Station is like from DC to New York up in the air, when people think that it's like out in outer space.
Years away. Yeah. Interesting.
A lot of that stuff makes absolutely no sense. The temperatures and the speed that thing's doing 17,000 miles an hour. Like, what are they catching that thing with then? Like, how do you land? How do you dock that and get on and off? And like, come on, man. Some of this stuff doesn't add up.
How do you lose the directions to the moon? Like, like I've lost a lot of shit in my life, but I feel like that would have been one of those things that you like tuck in that very secret spot that you're gonna remember. You know, like I struggle with that. One shit must copy and paste. And that's something compared to NASA, the single biggest buyer of helium. NASA consumes approximately 75 million cubic feet annually of helium.
Mm-hmm.
And knowledge is power. The more you know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot to like take in. And then because it's that domino effect. Everything about everything just starts to crumble. And you have to like relearn everything.
I told you we wouldn't need a topic tonight.
You know, I kind of had a feeling that we would somehow wind up talking about flat Earth. I just had an inkling, Joe.
I can't get away from it. Next time I come, I'll pick a topic that's not flat Earth.
We'll still talk about flat Earth, though. We'll still end up back here.
In this hour, We have all traveled 1.4 million miles through the Milky Way while we were on the Flocking podcast. Isn't that amazing?
I don't. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I can't.
I don't feel a thing.
It's just, there's no way. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way.
No, I didn't feel a thing.
All right. Well, on that note, Joe, thank you so much for coming on tonight. This was a vibe. I'm here for this. Thank you everybody in the comments that stayed for the live and was participating and being respectful. I do appreciate that. I'd also like to give a few shout outs. James, he helps out with the music with Double O Music. He does the stuff for the intro and the outro for us for the Flocking Network and here to Chew Bubblegum. We got Goose with that. And our sponsors, Static and Noise. All these channels can be found in the tabs on the YouTubes. There's also that communities tab. Sometime soon, I'll do something with that. Make sure you click the clickables along with clicking that like button. The like button. Did we smash the like button tonight? Did anybody click that? Did we click the like button? Can we do that real quick? That'd be awesome. And then if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that. Stay tuned for more to come. And as always, flock around and find out. Hang out just a few minutes for me, Joe, okay?
All right.
Bye, guys.